Marlins Live on Fox Sports Florida, brought to you by Toyota, moving forward. And by ticketsofamerica.com, the ticket provider for the Florida Marlins. We are never sold out. Call 305-379-7978. Well, they're taking the tarp off the field. They put the tarp on the field when the rain started coming down, probably a little bit after 6 o'clock. This is delaying the start of tonight's game, but only about 20 minutes. They're telling us 7:30. Good evening again, everybody. If you're just tuning in with Jeff Conant, I'm Craig Minervini. Welcome here to Marlins Baseball and a little extended Marlins Live. Richard Tommy will join us in just a moment. Game 2 of this series is coming up. Ian Kennedy will pitch for Arizona against Javier Vazquez for Florida. The Marlins winning Game 1 last night in an exciting fashion, in big fashion, 6-4.
Yeah, a win was exciting. I don't care what kind of fashion it was. It was very exciting. Got off to an early lead, 2-0. Got some power from Mike Stanton and John Buck to add on some runs and celebrating last night in the clubhouse.
Very nicely done. Led again by good starting pitching for Florida. In the matchup tonight, here it is. Ian Kennedy will go against Javier Vazquez. Kennedy's numbers terrific, 6-2. Finally getting some wins now. Last year, he went 9-10 with a 3.80. He's also allowing a lot less homers. Last year, allowed 26 homers, and this year only 6 so far.
6 so far in about a third of a season, so he has cut down on those. Leads his team in quality starts, innings, strikeouts. So he's been kind of, you'd say, their ace of their staff.
Javier Vazquez will go for the Marlins. 13 start, showing some signs. I know he was hit a little bit last time. I thought his stuff was good. He just didn't get results. And then he had 3 pretty good starts prior to that. A former Diamondback, he was 11-15 in the 05 season with the D-backs with a 4.42 ERA. This will be his 17th career start against Arizona. Let's get to our Papa John's delivery of the day. Get any large pizza at Papa John's for just $12. Even our signature specialties, $12 only at the new papajohns.com. Emilio leading off the game last night for Florida.
How about that? That's what the Marlins wanted to see. First inning leadoff double by their leadoff man. Gets to second base and scores. Here again, another great hustle play. This kid's learn about this. He never stopped running on to first base. A good aggressive turn. Somebody makes a mistake out there, you can make the second base. That's what he did.
Bonifacio will play shortstop tonight, too. So even though Coughlin is back in the lineup here against the right-hander, Bonifacio will play short and bat 8th. NL East standings as we play tonight. I think the Marlins, with this losing streak, that you lose 10 out of 12 and you're only 5 out. I think that's the good news. Only 4 out in the loss column, and they're also only 2 back of all the wild card leaders now. Atlanta, Milwaukee, all have 28 losses. Unfortunately, those are the teams the Marlins just lost to.
Well, you can't win the wild card unless you're at least second in your division. Yeah. So I think they got to set their sights on Atlanta first and then look for the Phillies hopefully later in the season.
But the good news is that they certainly, as we mentioned with the graphic we showed you earlier in the show, is you can overcome losing streaks in a year, but I think Edwin Rodriguez pointed out it's really hard to do that if you have more than one of those bad streaks. And the Marlins just hope they're on the way forward now. NL West standings, San Francisco leading the division. Arizona, remember they had that 15-2 run, Jeff, that ran them right till the point the Marlins beat them on May 31st. But since then, they've been struggling and scuffling a little bit. But they're only 2 games out.
I mean, the National League West has always been one of the most competitive divisions in baseball. There usually isn't too much separating first and last place. San Francisco's getting it done in their pitching, first and foremost. Pitching wins ball games. Good defensive team also. Arizona, obviously, is the Sluggers. They're leading the league in home runs and third in runs scored. So that could be an interesting shakeup in that division as well.
The NL Central has 6 teams. One of them, very surprising, is right in the middle of the pack. That's the Pittsburgh Pirates. Glenn Hurdle is doing a good job with them. We're only 6.5 out. St. Louis, 6-4 the last 10. Milwaukee obviously playing well against the Marlins, have put themselves right not only in the central picture, but in the wild card picture.
So you see the 2 leading run scoring teams in that division, St. Louis and Cincinnati. Cincinnati, very explosive offense. They could make up some ground in a hurry when they get hot. And look at the Pittsburgh Pirates. I mean, they're looking for their first winning season in, 19 seasons now?
Yeah, it's a record. 92, I think it was.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think the Brewers are going to win that division after looking at them. Then you watch the Mets go in and play them pretty well. But
I don't know, those 3 studs they got in St. Louis. I'm picking St. Louis.
St. Louis?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go with the Brewers. We'll see. We'll follow that story as we go along. Burke Badenhop hopped. The hopper was mic'd during batting practice, and we're going to go to another segment. Hopper Part 3.
Shake it up, baby, now. Just playing catch with my friends here. Hander, you got a suit? Is it garbage looking? So, guys, how's your conversation going? Good? Over here in the big and tall section?
This is for Craig Minervini. You need to get all new sweater vests. I repeat, all new sweater vest. Over.
I don't even know if it's on.
Thank you, Brett Hayes. I usually go to Tommy because he's the king of the sweater vest. I'll show him if I'm before a purchase, and he'll say, "Yeah, that goes good."
Well, you saw the guys in the stands earlier, right? The Tommy Hutton Sweater Vest Fan Club.
They're
very dapper in their sweater vests early in the season, and they weren't sweating.
Starting pitchers for the game, Ian Kennedy and Javier Vasquez. They are starting to loosen up now as they get within a half hour of start time. We're looking at about a bottom of the hour start time, 7:30 tonight. Little delay because of the rain that came down shortly after 6, but not too big of a problem for the Snakes or the Fish. Rich and Tommy are back in a moment.
By Toyota, moving forward. By AT&T. By Checkers, Little Place, Big Taste. And by Florida Power and Light, FPL is working to make its system stronger, smarter, cleaner, and even more efficient. Visit FPL.com to learn more. A little bit of rain in the area, a little bit of a delay, but ready for baseball in Sun Life Stadium. The Marlins try to make it 2 in a row against the Diamondbacks. Kirk Gibson's Diamondbacks will come to the plate in this orderly fashion tonight. Third baseman Ryan Roberts, followed by second baseman Kelly Johnson. The lineup's brought to you by Warren Henry Automobiles. Justin Upton, Stephen Drew, Chris Young in the meat of that order. Miguel Montero, followed by Xavier Nady, who had a pinch hit home run last night. Gerardo Parras in left. Ian Kennedy hits ninth.
Last time Javi Vasquez saw the Diamondbacks was on June 1st in Arizona. He didn't pitch badly, but he gave up a home run to this guy right here, Ryan Roberts.
It's been a home run fest in the 4 games between these two teams. The Marlins and the Diamondbacks have played 4 games this year. They've split them right down the middle. The Diamondbacks have hit 10 homers. The Marlins have hit 8. So 18 home runs between the two teams in 4 games. And Roberts, not your prototypical leadoff guy. He does have pop. You see the 8 home runs. Tripled last night. Vasquez just missed outside. Good life on the fastball at 91. Javi's last start against the Brewers ended quickly, just 4 innings. To left, Morrison to the wall, reaches, looks, and it's gone. Let me correct that. 19 home runs between the two teams in 4+ games.
Well, 19 now is a common number because that's as many first inning runs that Javi Vasquez has allowed this year. You know, he went through that lineup in Arizona the first 5 innings. He shut down the Diamondbacks. They got to him in the 6th, but this ball launched in the 2nd home run that Roberts has hit off Vasquez.
Here is Kelly Johnson. Johnson takes his strike. Yeah, it was Roberts' 2-run homer in the 6th inning in the ballgame that Vasquez was pitching a shutout. He had a 4-0 shutout going in Arizona. Roberts homered there, and that really turned the game. Diamondbacks won that game 6-5. So Javi trying to get it together. Got in on the hands of Kelly Johnson. And the count's 1-2.
How about Ryan Roberts in this ballpark? In his career, not a huge sample size, but Roberts in this ballpark is 5 for 10, 2 doubles, a triple, and a home run.
Big swing and a miss, and a bat that goes flying back to the screen. So a home run and a strikeout so far for Javier Vasquez. And up comes Justin Upton.
Well, a good comeback for Javi Vasquez to make a nice pitch and get a hitter who was hot in Arizona when the Marlins were there. But to able to get him with that nice curveball, good pitch.
Now Upton, who if you're not careful with him, will put it in the seats. He has 11 home runs this year. 1 for 4 last night. Had a couple of homers in the 3-game series in the desert. Vasquez, I don't know if that was the slider or if he just cut the fastball a little bit, but it's 0-2.
I think the slider, and I think the other encouraging thing, we've seen fastballs 90, 91, 92.
Breaking ball, ground ball. Bonifacio back out there at shortstop. Makes the play, and there are 2 outs.
Take a look at the defense tonight for the Marlins, and it is brought to you by Warren Henry. There's the outfield setting up with Coughlin in center. It isn't that easy, folks, to go from center to short, from short to center. Bonifacio does it with ease. Infante is double play partner. John Buck behind the plate.
And good to see Larry Beinfest, David Sampson back up in the blue seats where they were last night, trying to break the 8-game losing streak. The Marlins won, and they've returned to the same spot.
Larry Beinfest trying to blend with the blue shirt, blue seats.
A little disappointed we haven't seen Michael Hill up there yet, but I suspect he's headed in that direction. Here's the 0-1.
I think they're trying to time it the way they did last night, because if memory serves me, Michael wasn't there at the beginning.
Yeah, he was more of a middle relief guy.
Yeah.
Oh, 2. Liner to left. Morrison there, and he makes the catch. Ryan Roberts opens the festivities with a solo homer to left, and the Diamondbacks have a 1-0 lead. On a Super Saturday, kids getting the Thunder Sticks. Tonight, Warren Henry brings you the Warren Henry advantage. The Marlins order. Chris Coghlan back in the leadoff spot. Omar Infante hits second. Logan Morrison a home run last night. Gabby Sanchez at first. Mike Stanton went deep. Greg Dobbs back in the lineup. John Buck homered as well. Bonifacio had a couple of doubles last night. And Javi Vasquez hits ninth.
And there is a look at the 26-year-old right-hander, Ian Kennedy. He had a good May. He was 3-1 with a 2.43 ERA. We saw him in Arizona. Good stuff on the mound. Good presence out there.
Opens with a knee-high strike. Bill Miller calling balls and strikes with James Hoy, Tom Hallion, and Phil Cuzzy out on the bases. Coghlan last night came in, got himself a double, and he ducks out of the way of that high fastball. Coghlan a pinch hitting appearance to open up the 8th inning. And the double for Coghlan is 20th of the season. Drills that ball to right field and hits it pretty well. Back goes up into the wall. It's gone.
Just like that, a tie game.
So the leadoff hitter's providing the pop to start this ball game.
It's been a while for Chris Coghlan. He took care of a pitch that stayed about belt high and came into a good zone for him to drive the ball. But the last time Coghlan homered was on April 25th against the Dodgers, and he hit 2 that day.
Here's Infante. He rips one just foul into the corner. And it's 0-1. So Coghlan ties the game at 1. Remember, the Marlins beat Kennedy in his start back in the desert. That was May 30th. That was a 5-2 ball game. In that game, Logan Morrison homered. Kennedy lasted just 5 innings, gave up 5 hits. Lomo on deck. 0-2 pitch coming to Infante. Breaking ball struck him out. So a homer and a strikeout for Ian Kennedy.
See how the defense sets up for Kirk Gibson's ball club. Brought to you by Warren Henry. Parra, Young, Upton, good speed, good arms in the outfield. Robertson, Drew, Kelly Johnson, Xavier Nady gets the start at first base tonight. And Miguel Montero behind the plate.
Morrison now. 2-run homer in the first inning last night. Kennedy grooves a fastball for a strike. Also walked in the ball game in a 1-for-4 effort. This is just the 5th game of the year between these two teams. In fact, if you want to be accurate, 4 games and almost a full inning here. And they've combined to hit 20 home runs already. The Marlins have hit 9. The Diamondbacks have hit 11.
Well, the Diamondbacks lead the league in home runs, so you know they're going to hit theirs.
Fastball misses up.
Let's see what the scouting report tells us about Ian Kennedy. Good command. He uses everything, mainly fastball, curve, and change. And when he's on his game, he'll throw any of those 3 pitches anytime.
Now he gets a strikeout of Logan Morrison. And so a pair of strikeouts, both looking on the breaking ball.
Yeah, both looking, both on the curveball. And it gives you an idea how kind of give up on that. It's a high strike, but now you have to file that away and see if Bill Miller, the home plate umpire, calls that all night.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks have now hit 74 homers. Milwaukee just got their 74th. That's a Prince Fielder 2nd inning home run as Milwaukee leads St. Louis 1-0.
So Fielder now with 18.
And the Brewers and the Diamondbacks, and of course the Marlins saw the Brewers to start this homestand. The power numbers, they're best in the National League. The Marlins themselves have hit 56 home runs, including the Coghlan shot. Gabby jumps on that breaking ball. Dive by Parra, and he gambled and lost. That's going to mean extra bases for Gabby Sanchez. Little surprised that Gerardo Parra took a dive at it. He's a very good left fielder with a lot of range.
Generally he is. With 2 out, you want to try to keep this ball in front of you and keep Gabby Sanchez at first base. But I think in his mind he thought he could make a play out of his reach. Even in Fox mode, it's out of his reach, and because of that, Gabby ends up at second.
15th double of the season for Gabby, and here's Stanton now. Mike homered last night and doubled. Kennedy with the fastball for a strike. Stanton in the 5 spot. Edwin was asked about Stanton hitting 5th, and Edwin said, you know what, it's kind of by feel and day to day and how guys are swinging and how they react. Breaking ball, shot it right up the middle. Kelly Johnson had him played perfectly, and the inning is over. But the Marlins tie it. Chris Coghlan, the answer. It's 1-1. 1-1 ball game. Somewhere in the haze, Chris Coughlin will emerge. There he is. His home run has tied the game. All your cooling brings you the weather. 80 degrees, 80% humidity. We had rain already. There's a chance for more. With lightly scattered home runs so far. Ryan Roberts for the Diamondbacks, Chris Coughlin for the Fish. Here's Chris Young. He leads it off for Arizona with Miguel Montero and Xavier Nady to follow. The Diamondbacks are a big swinging, long balling team.
They are that, even though they've cut back on their strikeouts, which was something they wanted to do.
They've started to creep up a little bit in the strikeouts, though. Even though Mark Reynolds has been subtracted from the mix, guys like Young have kept up their pace. John Buck turns around and makes the play. Vasquez has an out here in the second, and up comes Montero.
So what you're trying to say is that strikeout continues to rear its ugly head.
Slowly. First part of the season, they've done a nice job with it, but lately they're not on track to set a major league record, which they did last year. They struck out 1,529 times, the most in major league history. That was last year. This is Montero. He's got good power, and he showed it last night when he kind of back-footed a home run to straightaway center field. And that was the last pitch that Anibal Sanchez threw. Sanchez gave up 3 last night, but got the win. And Anibal now at 6-1 with a very respectable earned run average. There's a look at Sanchi.
Yeah, earned run average just a little over 3.06, and certainly a candidate to be an all-star this year. And also a possible candidate.
In the air to left field. That ball's pretty well hit. Morrison back, makes a leap, and it's off the wall. Lomo runs it down. Is it just me, or is the ball carrying?
No, it's breezy. It was carrying, I thought, really well last night. Remember, last night, Montero hit a home run to straightaway center field. This ball, he lifts, and once it gets in that air, you're right, it takes off. Lomo can't get to it. Montero has a double. My final thought on Anibal Sanchez, he's a candidate to be a starter Wednesday night in the nightcap of that day-night doubleheader against Roy Halladay. That's unofficial, but that's a possibility.
Of course, the Marlins are still looking for an arm to pitch in one of those games in the day-night doubleheader. Here is Xavier Nady. He takes a breaking ball outside. Nady made a grand entrance into the ball game last night, driving a ball out to right field. He was the first guy that Mike Dunn faced, and that was back-to-back with Montero. A professional hitter is a description one would use for Xavier Nady. Fouls it back, and it's 1-1.
And I would also throw in he's the type of guy, and a lot of injuries have had a lot to do with it. I don't think he's reached that potential that everybody thought he would.
No, the Padres took him in the second round. He was a standout All-American performer at the University of California. Gabby giving it a run, and it's into the seats and out of play. And I would expect that Xavier Nady may have ponied up a little bit, because one of the stories in college baseball this offseason was that Cal, his alma mater, was going to drop baseball, which had a long and rich tradition, including, I might add, my father pitched there. So there were, I can tell you firsthand, there were a lot of people that were upset.
That's long and rich, and of course John Baker.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jeff Kent. And Cal has a lot of guys in the big leagues. And their current team is a couple wins away from getting to the College World Series. And that's a team that only until about, I want to say, a month ago, found out that the program was going to continue. They raised $10 million in about 4 months to keep that program going. They were going to cut 5 other sports at the school as well. 2-2. It's fouled back and out of play.
Now, the thing that really put a halt to Nady's career, he had Tommy John surgery. One of the many position players that's had that surgery. And it's been in the news lately. Jabba Chamberlain just is going to have it. Daisuke has had it. And so a couple of pitchers, one with the Yankees, one with the Red Sox, undergoing Tommy John surgery.
Nady steps out, counts 2-2. If you've just joined us, leadoff homers from both teams in the first. Ryan Roberts for the Diamondbacks, Chris Coughlin for the Fish. Javi Vasquez has given out a 1-out double to Miguel Montero. He's 2-2 on Xavier Nady. Big breaking ball and a nice strikeout.
Yeah, the crowd getting into the Thundersticks, feeling that their Thundersticks were the reason that great curveball struck out Xavier Nady, but it was a good pitch. Good to see Javi Vasquez use that. We haven't seen the changeup come out yet. He may use it. Going to put the left-hander on intentionally here, Parra.
And pitch to the pitcher, Ian Kennedy. So an intentional walk. There's Kennedy. He'll be coming up. Ball 4 on its way. The Phillies win again today. They clobbered the Cubs 7-1. Been a woeful year for the Cubs. Chase Utley hit his second homer.
Yeah, wouldn't you know, Chase Utley just starting to get his timing and put things together.
The Reds hammered Tim Lincecum today. 10-2, Cincinnati beating the Giants. That was in San Francisco. Of course, that's of interest to the Diamondbacks because they're 2 games behind the Giants. Giants winners last night, but losers in that they lost Freddie Sanchez for the time being. He re-injured that surgically repaired shoulder diving for a ground ball. And it sounds like the Giants were about to sign Bill Hall to fill that spot. Hall can play many different positions. He went around. The count's 0-2.
And by the way, the winning pitcher in that Philadelphia Cubs game, Cliff Lee, 8 innings, gave up just 4 hits and a run.
Which lines up with Javi Vasquez.
Probably on the Thursday afternoon game, yeah.
Final game of that 4-game, 3-day series in Philly. 0-2 coming. Just missed. Lively crowd here tonight on a Baker Concrete Super Saturday. Got the Thundersticks going on. Ludicrous is the concert, the post-game concert. There, he got him. So Vasquez pitches around the 1-out double. And the Marlins and Diamondbacks are tied at 1. presented by the authority. The Florida Marlins may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Marlins. Tommy, as you know, full season ticket plans in the new Marlins ballpark available now. You can get your seats in the new Marlins ballpark and be part of the future of Marlins baseball in Miami. Just place a deposit today. Call the new Marlins ballpark sales headquarters at 877-411-2012 or go to marlins.com/new ballpark. Now there they are, PJ Loyola and Michael Hill.
I think arriving at the same time they did last night, just to keep the continuity going.
A liner to left. And that's Parra out there. Greg Dobbs saw one pitch, hit it on the button. There's one out. John Buck, Emilio Bonifacio coming up.
Well, he looks for that good pitch to have a good swing, and sometimes that good pitch is pitch number one. And he had a good swing.
John Buck now. A couple hits last night for Buck. And he's put together a little 5-game hitting streak.
So you have a guy on the mound, Rich, Ian Kennedy out of the University of Southern California. He may have pitched a game against Cal.
Yes, he was in fact the Pac-10 pitcher of the year and a high draft pick. First-round draft pick of the Yankees. He's one of those guys where, you know, the Yankees need somebody, and so they go out and get that somebody, and they give up one of their better prospects. And one of those better prospects turns out to be a pretty good big league player. Kennedy was in the three-way trade in late December, in which the Yankees got Curtis Granderson. Kennedy and Edwin Jackson ended up in Arizona. Detroit got Max Scherzer and Austin Jackson. Here's the 2-1. Huntington Beach. So he is a Southern California guy. And he got that fastball by John Buck. All right, folks, if you want a 1 in 300 chance to win a new car, here's your opportunity. Remember, from our fantasy auction, the Ford Fiesta, we're selling 300 raffle tickets. And with the 300 raffle tickets, you get a Marlins Ford shirt, an oil change coupon, and 2 tickets to the, thank you very much, Jennifer, September 21st game against the Braves. You get to pick the color of the car. Any color you want, you can have that color. How about some extra bases for Emilio Bonifacio?
How about a little Oppo power from Emilio Bonifacio?
Bonifacio with a double. That'll bring Vasquez up.
Well, he had a great night last night. First 2 at-bats had doubles, hitting from the right side. Tonight, from the left side, this becomes our checkers double of the game. And again, the ball carrying well. You don't expect Bonifacio, as a left-handed hitter, to hit a ball that far. Bonifacio now 5 hits in his last 9 at-bats.
Here's Vasquez with 2 outs. Bonifacio at second base. Fastball, a strike. Take this phone number down. Pens ready. 305-623-6497. 305-623-6497. You can call and get yourself a raffle ticket by calling that number right now. Operators are standing by. Everything benefits the Marlins Community Foundation. And if you wanted to and didn't get a chance to get one of those pledge packs during the fantasy auction, there are a few of those Logan Morrison pledge packs available. You can get those by phone tonight as well. 305-623-6497. 1-1. Vasquez lifts it in the air to center, hit it pretty well, but it's a big yard, and Chris Young can go get it, and he does. Marlins waste another double in a 1-1 game.
To the top of the third inning, a rarity for a Marlins game with leadoff home runs in a ball game for respective teams. Ryan Roberts did it for Arizona in this game at the top of the first. It was his 9th of the year, and then for the Marlins, Chris Coghlan responding in the bottom of the first, the leadoff hitter for Florida with his 5th. It's only the 3rd time ever in Marlin history that this has happened, where leadoff guys would hit home runs for their respective clubs. Both times in July of 2006 against Boston, Kevin Youkilis hit a leadoff homer for the Red Sox. Hanley hit the leadoff homer for the Marlins. Hanley did it again about 3 weeks later against Washington, and Soriano had the homer, his leadoff shot for Washington. In both games, the Marlins lost by 1 run. I hope to change that tune here tonight, guys.
Yeah, you don't want to say those words. 1-run loss. Marlins are tired of hearing that.
Well, it's an interesting thought with that note, and Hanley being the leadoff hitter. It is something that Edwin is tossing around when Hanley comes back, and that is possibly hitting him in the leadoff spot.
When Hanley comes marching home. Let's hope on Tuesday, the day that he's able to come back, that he's in uniform, ready to go in Philadelphia. That'd be quite a boost for that 4-game series.
Yeah, it would. And by the way, the last time in the major leagues that both leadoff hitters hit home runs was in 07, July of 07. Chris Young.
There you go.
Of the Diamondbacks, and Corey Hart of the Brewers.
That's been Vasquez's best pitch of the night. That good sharp breaking ball.
He has shown 2 types of breaking balls, the curve and the slider, and both have been very effective. And this time effective to a guy who has homered against him a couple of times.
He's got 4 strikeouts now. He's almost eliminated the walk from the equation. And the early starts for Vasquez this year were filled with walks. But Tommy, he really has, in the last 4 or 5 starts, reined it in.
There was a time that his walks were greater than his strikeouts, and he's turned that around.
Kelly Johnson with good power, and he takes a mean rip at it,
and he's able to do that all of a sudden. 92 miles an hour up in that area, tough for Kelly Johnson to get to.
He struck Johnson out on a pitch like that. In fact, Johnson lost his bat and went all the way to the screen. Here's the 1-2. Outside corner at the knees. Johnson frozen on that fastball.
That's some serious veteran paint. Put the fastball right there. Perfection.
Wow.
How about coming into the game, Rich? The strikeouts to walks, and that's coming into this game. And tonight he has 5 strikeouts and 1 walk. 25-4 coming into this game. And the 1 walk tonight was intentional.
Upton takes a breaking ball for a strike. He's so much more aggressive. His body language is so dramatically different from his April starts. Some movement on that fastball. Ball and a strike to one of the bright young stars in the game, Justin Upton. Amazing that he's only 23. It seems like he's been in the league for 5-6 years.
Did you see the note on Upton? I thought it was fun. It's kind of fun when you go back a few years. 7 different times in his career he's homered on the same day as his brother, BJ. But they have a ways to go to catch Brett and Aaron Boone, who homered on the same day 19 times.
Wow. The 2-2 coming. Javi Vasquez is dealing. He strikes out the side in the 3rd. Roberts, Johnson, and Upton. Brought to you by All Year Cooling. Today's cooling, yesterday's prices. By 5-Hour Energy. Fixes tired fast. One shot, back to work. Problem solved. And by FPL. FPL is constantly working to make its system stronger, smarter, cleaner, and even more efficient to offer reliable service today and for years to come. Visit FPLConnect.com to learn more. Back to the top of the order for the Marlins in a 1-1 game in the bottom of the 3rd. Chris Coghlan homered. Pulled an inside fastball out to right field. That's how the Marlins have their run. They've had opportunities after that. Gabby Sanchez a 2-out double in the 1st. Emilio Bonifacio a 2-out double in the 2nd. But Ian Kennedy pitched out of both of those situations. Coghlan yanks it foul.
Yeah, yank that changeup foul. He'll use that a little more to the left-handers.
Coghlan and the Marlins at 32-30 as play opens tonight. This fly ball is towards the line. Parra in foul territory makes the catch. And so there's one out. Up comes Infante. An 8-game losing streak snapped last night. The Fish are still 2 over 500. The Phillies, as we told you, winners today, a 7-1 win over the Cubs. So Philadelphia continues to pile up wins. 39-26 are the Phillies. Atlanta, a win last night, big in Houston. With the sweep of the Marlins and that win, the Braves have a 4-game winning streak going into play tonight.
How about the way the Oakland Athletics snapped their 10-game losing streak?
Had to come from behind in the 9th inning.
Yeah, they were playing the White Sox in Chicago. They were losing 5-3 in the 9th, and Oakland scored 4 in the top of the 9th.
I want to say Scott Sizemore had the big hit for the Athletics. Infante all over that pitch. Omar's been swinging a hot bat. He's got 3 hits in this series. And Logan Morrison comes up. Oakland and the White Sox are in the 4th inning back in Chicago, and it's 1-0 White Sox.
There's that curveball, but it hung up above the belt for Infante, who gets his 12th hit on this homestand, and he has swung the bat very well. Yeah, it's kind of fun for us to, talk a little bit about the A's, the Angels, the Rangers, because the Marlins will be seeing those clubs.
Yeah, the Marlins about to get the tour of the American League West. The Angels are coming here for a 3-game series. And the Marlins, in what will be home games for the Fish, will be in Seattle for 3, Oakland for 3, and Texas for 3. Just the games in Seattle will be home games for the Marlins. Morrison clobbers that ball down the right field line, and it's fair. Infante racing for third, upped it into the corner. Here comes Infante. They will send him, and he's going to score. Morrison's got a triple.
Logan Morrison got that triple out of the batter's box. He had a good view of this line shot that he hits. Just crushes it. Then he takes off, sees it's going to be fair. Because they were shading him into right center, a long way for Upton to go. He goes hard. So does Infante, who picked up Joe Espada. But look at Lomo go, putting the Marlins ahead with that triple.
He is fun to watch. And it's a big spot here now for Gabby Sanchez. One of the spots that the Marlins have struggled with over the last 10 days. Runner at third. Less than 2 outs. And Gabby, swinging at a pitch that was up and in, is behind in the count 0-1.
And in this case, the middle infielders are packed. So a ground ball to short, a ground ball to second will produce a run.
Nady even at the bag at first. So is Roberts at third. And Ian Kennedy is in a good spot now. He's 0-2 on Gabby Sanchez. Kennedy obviously looking for a punch out here. Trying to keep Morrison in third.
Boy, the Marlins with 5 hits tonight. 2 doubles, a triple, and a home run.
Got him. So the Marlins failed to put the ball in play with a runner at third and 1 out.
Well, a key to any pitcher getting ahead the way Kennedy did, 0-2. That allows him to make a perfect pitch to try to get the strikeout. He made the perfect pitch with a changeup to get Gabby.
So Stanton climbs in. Mike hit a hard shot up the middle that was run down by Kelly Johnson back behind second. That was the final out of the first inning.
There's a great way, and it's always good to see, to pick up your teammates. And that's when, after a strikeout such as Gabby's, with 2 out now, the next hitter can bring in that run from third.
Fastball in on the hands. Ball and a strike. Morrison an RBI triple. He's still at third. Came right back in there. And to count 1-2. Four strikeouts for Kennedy. He has 70 strikeouts on the season. This is start number 14. Let's see what Stanton gets. He's really tried to keep everything in on Big Mike.
I think you've seen a lot of pitchers do that. And where we will see Mike even get better is when he starts to lay off that pitch that's up and in and out of the strike zone.
Broke his back, and that one caught by Kelly Johnson. Marlins get a run, but they failed to cash in the second one. 2-1. Will gather together in the Arizona desert for one spectacular night as the summer's biggest event on Fox brings you every thrilling moment. The 2011 Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Coverage begins Tuesday, July 12th from Phoenix, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on Fox. Logan Morrison with an RBI triple. The Marlins have a 2-1 lead going into the fourth. Javier Vasquez gets Stephen Drew, Chris Young, Miguel Montero. Vasquez has struck out the last 4 he's faced. His last 5 outs have been strikeouts. The only exception was the intentional walk to Parra back in the second inning. Drew lined to left his first time up. Ball and a strike. The National League West, not as clear a picture right now as the East. The Phillies a 2-game lead over the Braves going into tonight. They've won, so it's a 2.5. The Marlins 5 back. That ball's well hit to right field. That ball may leave, and it does. And Stephen Drew ties the game just like that. So So Arizona has 2 home runs tonight, 4 home runs in the series. They've hit a dozen in the 5 games between the 2 teams this year.
That was one of those breaking balls that flattened out, didn't have that sharp bite, and a hot hitter. Drew's hit in 9 of his last 12. 6 for 13, 6 for 14 now in his career against Javi Vasquez.
Give credit to the hitters, but these last 2 nights, I don't remember the ball carrying this well in this park in a long time.
Yeah, I don't either. I really don't.
Young fouls it back and out of play. Last night the Marlins hit 3 homers. The Diamondbacks hit a couple. Tonight Arizona's hit 2 and the Marlins have hit 1. Chris Coughlin for the Fish. Ryan Roberts, a leadoff homer for the Diamondbacks, and you just saw Stephen Drew leave the yard. Chris Young with the count 0-2. And the importance of picking up that extra run for the Marlins. I know it's the 4th inning, but still.
We talk about that a lot. That 4th inning sometimes comes back and bites you in the 8th inning. And I think Gabby would like to have that whole at bat over again.
That ball's hit deep. Morrison at the track makes the catch.
It feels like the Men of Steel are hitting. Those softball guys.
The exhibition guys. All right, let's flip the phone. Diamondback Awards. Who's the only player to win Rookie of the Year and eventually Player of the Year? Diamondback Awards. Player of the Year as
is that National League Rookie of the Year or Diamondback Rookie of the Year? We need clarity.
Yeah, it's okay, just
team
Diamondback.
awards.
So it's a Diamondback award both ways. Rookie and then Player of the Year. That one's into center field. That's a base hit. Miguel Montero has 2 hits tonight. That man Stephen Drew has tied the game. Here comes Xavier Nady.
The other thing about that series in Arizona, when the Marlins arrived, the Diamondbacks had half their lineup on hot streaks, and they continued it. It looks like a couple of them are starting to get hot again, but some of them have cooled off since that series in Arizona.
Well, the Diamondbacks were at the end of that streak where they had won 15 of 17 games.
Yeah, they went 15-2 during a stretch.
Gone 4-10 since. Actually 4-6 in their last 10. Nady with the count 0-1. Montero's at first. Vasquez misses down low.
And we've talked about the All-Star game. It's going to take place in Arizona. Javi Vasquez was an All-Star as a Yankee back in 04. You know, you look at his overall numbers that year, he was 14-10, an ERA over 4. But he had a tremendous first half that year. He was 10-5 with an ERA of 3.56.
Runner goes, hit and run, ground ball through the vacant spot into center field. And the Diamondbacks execute perfectly. Kirk Gibson putting the game in motion, and a veteran hitter does his job.
Well, you used the term earlier describing Xavier Nady as a professional hitter. Well, you put the hit and run on with a professional hitter. He takes a pitch that's inside. Second baseman covering Infante. He's able to inside out that pitch. Didn't hit it hard, but found that hole on the right side.
Now Vasquez trying to get a ground ball to get out of this inning. Gerardo Parra runs pretty well at the plate. Middle infield back for 2. Bonifacio and Infante. There's a liner right to Infante. Everybody returns back to their bases. And for the second time tonight, if Vasquez can get the pitcher Ian Kennedy, he can leave a couple runners on base.
Good job by the base runners to hold their ground.
When the Marlins were in the middle of the 8-game losing streak, they were getting beat by bloopers and balls that were trickling through the infield. Last night, Steve Cishek came in and got his first major league save. He gave up a couple of rockets for outs. The diving stop by Bonifacio, Stanton a running catch on the warning track. And I guess if you're going to turn everything around and start turning your luck, things like that start to go your way.
By the way, you saw Kennedy think about bunting. No squeeze, they're 2 out. He's just trying to bunt for a base hit. Remember, Vasquez made him look bad back in the 2nd inning when he struck him out. Like that.
On those pitches, breaking balls, 1-1. Well, if Vasquez can get out of this with just the 1 run, both pitchers will be able to say in a 2-2 game that it could be worse, because Kennedy has had to pitch out of some trouble himself. Not a bad location. It's 2-1. Vasquez is 34. This is start number 424 in his long career, and he's a game over 500, 155 and 154. Couldn't get him to go after the slider, and so now it's 3-1.
And it becomes imperative to throw strikes to this guy and not have to face Ryan Roberts. Give Kennedy credit. He's doing a pretty good job at not chasing the pitches just off the plate.
Strike, and Vasquez may have gotten a call there.
I think he may have.
Check it on Fox Tracks. Oh yeah. Although it's close, any of those little yellow balls that's close to that line, that can be considered on the black. And that one's popped fouling out of play. In the world of Fox Tracks, it gets it down close to within an inch on the borders, but remember, if the ball or that little dot is up against the black line, that's the same as part of the baseball being on the black of the plate.
Fox Tracks is a great measure. It's not an absolute.
No, it's not. And that one absolutely was inside. And now the scenario that you brought up is staring right at Vasquez here. You've got Roberts, who's already homered, coming up.
Yeah, you see the call he got on number 5. This one a little bit further inside and clearly a ball, and now he's going to have to go after Roberts.
So not only have the Diamondbacks scored this inning and loaded the bases, they've pushed Vasquez's pitch count just 1 pitch shy of 70. Here with 2 out in the 4th. Strike. And as you pointed out, talking about Fox Tracks, that pitch right there was almost identical to the second strike to Kennedy. And if Bill Miller's calling that pitch all night, neither side has an argument. 0-1.
And I think we've seen that a little bit tonight in Bill Miller. He's had a high strike zone. The pitches that have been in the upper part of the zone that sometimes are not called strikes. See that first one to strike 1.
That one rides outside, and Vasquez has fallen behind. Bases filled with Diamondbacks. Montero singled. Nady on a hit and run poked one into right field. After Parra lined out, the pitcher, Ian Kennedy, worked a walk. That was Vasquez's escape hatch out of the 4th. Now he has to get Roberts out. 2-1 coming. Outstanding pitch, 2-2.
I'll tell you why it was. Roberts knows that Vasquez has struggled a little bit with his control in this inning. He knows that the bases are loaded, and a miss would have taken the count 3-1. So he was sitting on a fastball, and Javier dropped a nice breaking ball on him for strike 2.
Here comes the 2-2. Hit high and deep and foul. And up in the blue seats.
And he didn't sneak that fastball by him. When a guy hits a fastball that much foul to the pull field, when he has 2 strikes on him, you know he's just geared for fastball. So a good breaking ball should get Roberts.
Unless he shifts gears. Missed with the fastball. Now the count's full.
I'll tell you what, if he throws him that breaking ball 3-2 right here with the bases loaded and 2 out, he'll fool a lot of people.
I'm with you. I thought it was coming 2-2.
Yeah.
John Buck's going to go on and chat. Would you think as well, Tommy, that on a 2-2 pitch, if a guy pulls a fastball that far foul and hits it that deep, maybe he knew it was coming, and that's why Buck went out to the mound?
Either or. He either knew it was coming or he was just sitting on it.
And just to make sure, Buck and Vasquez probably discussed exactly what pitch he wants right now, regardless of sign. 3-2 coming. Didn't go after the breaking ball, and the Diamondbacks have the lead. 2 walks by Javier Vasquez. First to the pitcher and then to Ryan Roberts. And here comes Kelly Johnson.
I think if this is closer to the zone, he gets Roberts to chase it, but it was just too far off and low. But the walk that killed him in this inning was the walk to Kennedy, the pitcher.
Now you got a guy in Kelly Johnson with power, but Vasquez has struck him out twice. Here comes Randy St. Clair. The Marlins bullpen is stirring. No one's throwing yet. And this may be a buying time for someone to get up and start to get loose. And Brian Sanchez.
And it is Brian Sanchez.
Remember, Vasquez, when he was in Arizona, was cruising with a 4-0 lead, and then he hit a wall in the 6th inning. That's when Roberts hit that 2-run homer.
And I remember in Arizona we said the same thing. The numbers didn't show it, but he threw the ball well. He had good stuff, and until this inning, you could say the same thing. He's had good stuff. The fastball's been live. He's been around the strike zone, but he's had trouble in this inning.
A lot of pitches this inning, and a lot of time standing around out there for his defense. Johnson 0 for 6 in this series. Hits it to center, hits it well. Coughlin got turned around, looks up, and it's over his head, goes to the wall. That's going to clear the bases. Everybody scores. Nady, Kennedy, Roberts, and Kelly Johnson makes it 6-2.
You ever hear the term knuckleball effect on a line drive? That's what that ball did. It turned Coughlin around twice, not because he misplayed it. The ball just danced in the air. He first thought it was going to go over his other shoulder. It moved back and went over the other shoulder. So Kelly Johnson with a huge hit for the Diamondbacks.
And here is Upton, the 9th man to come to the plate. And you go back and reconstruct this inning, and the biggest at bat was Vasquez walking the pitcher Ian Kennedy to load the bases and bring up Ryan Roberts. Kennedy, who was 2 for 26 going into that at bat.
And Kelly Johnson with that bases clearing double snaps an 0 for 11.
A strike and it's 2-1. That's the Kelly Johnson that the Marlins saw in Arizona when he had 3 homers.
6 for 14 with 3 home runs in that series.
2 triples and a double. Every hit was for extra bases. This certainly has taken the steam out of this crowd. And it's 3-1. Left center. That's well hit. Off the wall. Coughlin has it. Upton's got a double. And the Diamondbacks right now are teeing off on Javier Vasquez. And here comes Edwin. He's going to bring in Brian Sanchez. Vasquez looked like he was cruising. He struck out the side in the 3rd inning. But the Diamondbacks off to a 7-2 lead. Here's a Marooney called to the pen.
When you need a car, truck or van, who you gonna call? Marooney!
Ryan Roberts, Don Baylor, the rest of the Diamondbacks on the other side of the diamond. Edwin Rodriguez has seen this Javier Vasquez start blow up, and not in a good way.
Yeah, it's a perfect example of an inning getting away from a pitcher. Because early on, the first 3 innings, Javier Vasquez struck out the side in the 3rd inning, the top 3 hitters. And then just let things get away here in the 4th.
Now it's Stephen Drew with Upton out at second, and Sanchez gets a strike. It's 0-1. Drew opened this inning with a homer to right. Vasquez then got an out. Montero singled. Nady on a hit and run single. Parra lined out. And the Diamondbacks had runners first and third, 2 outs, and the pitcher, Ian Kennedy, up. And Vasquez walked him. And that was the big tipping point in the inning. Because then he had to face the leadoff man, Ryan Roberts. He walked Roberts to force in a run. Kelly Johnson cleared the bases with a double to deep center. Upton with an RBI double. 0-2 on Drew. Fastball, got him. Sanchez comes in and strikes out Stephen Drew. 7-2 now, Arizona. Johnson, Justin Upton finished it. Big inning for the Diamondbacks. Here's the trivia answer. Only player to win Rookie of the Year and eventual Player of the Year. It's got to be Chris Young if he's in the picture. And those Diamondback awards, not national awards. Last year he was an All-Star. 07 was an enormous year for him. So the Marlins sit now down by 5. Still early in this ball game. Greg Dobbs takes a strike. And it's a whole new feeling for Ian Kennedy.
Yeah, and it's also a whole new approach for a hitter. When you get down by 5, you really have to be more patient. You have to try to work the pitcher. You have to try to get some base runners.
Dobbs fouls it out of play. In the National League tonight, Milwaukee has a 3-2 lead in the bottom of the 6th over the Cardinals, thanks to a Ricky Weeks home run. Prince Fielder is also homered. Lance Berkman has hit his 16th for St. Louis. In Pittsburgh tonight, the Pirates are 1 run better than the Mets right now in the 7th, 3-2. No one is homered there. Funny, talking to Don Baylor, the hitting coach of the Rockies, the Diamondbacks, former Rocky skipper Don Baylor. But the Diamondbacks were just in Pittsburgh, and he said, man, you absolutely have to kill the ball to hit it out of that ballpark. He compared it to San Diego. Don Baylor is part of our Tickets of America poll question. Of the Diamondbacks bench staff, maybe a better way to say it, but who do you think has the best chance of these 4 to make it to the Hall of Fame? Baylor, Kirk Gibson, Alan Trammell, or Matt Williams? 789-789. First glance, I would expect that to be Alan Trammell.
I would say none probably will, but Trammell would be the most likely, and I wouldn't rule out Alan Trammell either.
That's we've talked about the coaching staff and the numbers that they put up in their career, and the all-star appearances by all those guys. Gibson, a couple of world championships. Don Baylor won a World Series.
Alan Trammell with just under 2,400 hits.
Trammell won a World Series with the Tigers. Charles Nagy was on a World Series team with the Indians.
Alan Trammell, Rich, hit 450 in that World Series against San Diego.
Of course, Kirk Gibson had one of the dramatic home runs in World Series history in that World Series. Gibson had 2 enormous World Series home runs for 2 different ball clubs. The 88 home run against Eckersley and the 84 home run against Goose Gossage.
I know you have. I've heard Gibson interviewed about that big home run against Eckersley, which kind of defines his career, but he likes to tell people he's won an MVP award. He hit 255 home runs in his career.
Stole a lot of bases.
Yeah. 255 home runs and 284 stolen bases.
Was a great wide receiver at Michigan State as well.
So included in Gibson's home runs, his entire staff, they've hit 1,235 home runs. Because let's not forget EY, Eric Young, first base coach.
3-2 to Bonifacio.
And if you want to throw in stolen bases,
he's over 500, isn't he?
Well, he's 465.
Oh, okay, he's close.
So they've got it covered. They got Nagy with a solid career of winning games. They got the stolen bases and Eric Young, the sure-handed shortstop, and Alan Trammell. The boppers in Don Baylor and Matt Williams.
I think if there's a theme as well, it's of a no-nonsense group.
Yeah, they all played the game the same way.
Yeah. Bonifacio with a nice AB. But because the Marlins are where they are right now, they're going to have to bring Brian Sanchez up.
Yeah, you can't start running guys off the bench when you only have 4 on the bench, and you don't want to get into that bullpen so early. So you almost have to treat this as a starting pitcher, and then you want Brian Sanchez to give you 2 or 3 more innings.
Sanchez as a reliever doesn't get a lot of opportunities to swing the bat. Does have a hit in the big leagues. Got to hit some in college.
Yeah, it's funny, in college, collegiate baseball, you get a lot of two-way players, closers running in from center field or right field.
Struck him out. Down goes Sanchez. So the Marlins in a 5-run hole right now to the Diamondbacks.
Arizona leading 7-2. There's better news a little north of here up at St. Lucie tonight. The Jupiter Hammerheads playing a Florida State League game against the St. Lucie Mets. St. Lucie leads 4-3 going to the top of the 8th. But the big story for the Marlins is the number 3 hitter for the Hammerheads. He's playing shortstop. He's played airless baseball at short, and he's 3 for 4 in the game tonight with 3 singles. Add the 2 for 3 in from last night. 5 for 7, 7.14 average in 2 games back for Hanley in rehab at the single-A level. The Marlins are hoping he'll take BP here with the club tomorrow, work out with the Marlins on Monday, join the team on their flight to Philadelphia, and if all goes well, be reinstated from the DL Tuesday and play in the game Tuesday night against the Phillies. But nice to see Hanley having success with Jupiter with 5 hits, guys.
Yeah, that is good. Maybe Hanley can give the Marlins a couple innings on the mound. That one popped fouling out of play. The Marlins are still waiting word on Josh Johnson, as he has yet to throw off the mound. The Fish, as we heard last night from Larry Beinfest, said that until Josh says that he's pain-free, they're not going to let him cut loose. Oh, 1 pitch up the middle into center field. Chris Young leads off the 5th with a single against Brian Sanchez. This was a tight ball game until Arizona put 6 on the board in the 4th, and that chased Javier Vasquez. Miguel Montero, Xavier Nady coming up. Vasquez 3 2/3 innings and 83 pitches over that span. 7 hits, all 7 runs earned. Vasquez ERA now on the season is over 7, 7.09. Wow.
That has to be the highest of a starter who's had at least 10 starts. Tonight, Javi's 13th start.
Young almost got caught. That would be the other Young, the Young on the left. EY on the right. Looks like he could probably steal a bag or 2.
Problem, Rich, in the case of Javier Vasquez, is what's plan B if he's not in your rotation? And the Marlins already have pitching issues.
Runner goes, big jump, swing and a miss. Buck didn't have a chance. And Chris Young has his 7th stolen base in the season.
It's another facet of this ball club that we've talked about. The Diamondbacks, yes, in the lead or near the lead in home runs, but they've also stolen over 50 bases. Upton has 11. As you mentioned, for Young, that was his 7th.
Ball and 2 strikes to the Diamondbacks catcher. Ground ball. Gabby a long way to get it. Sanchez is over. And he's there to get the out, though Chris Young moves to 3rd. And there's 1 out. Here comes Xavier Nady. All right, Tommy, the Waltz household has made their donation. We have a one of 300 raffle tickets. So if you would like to join them, there's 305. There are the operators that are standing by. 305-623-6497. 305-623-6497. And a 1 in 300 chance to win that Ford Fiesta. You also get a Marlins Ford shirt. You get an oil change coupon and 2 tickets to the Marlins Braves game on the 21st of September. And that's the night they will draw the winner of the Ford Fiesta. And if you win the Ford Fiesta, you can pick the color. Ford will let you pick the color of the car. So 305-623-6497.
Now with the Diamondbacks having a 5-run lead, you have to bring the infield in. And you have to do that against a tough hitter in Xavier Nady.
Yeah, I imagine that when Nady fills out a questionnaire and asks for occupation, that ball in the dirt is going to the screen and a run's going to score. As Young comes across, Nady just puts on the application or the form professional hitter.
X-Man, professional hitter.
What's your dad do? He's a professional hitter.
And then there's the sarcastic fan will say they're all professionals. They all should be professional hitters.
That's really a term of endearment that's used inside the game, from managers to hitting coaches, even players every now and then. And not everybody will get that moniker of professional hitter. In fact, if you were to take the Marlins roster, is there a guy on there that you would say he's a professional hitter?
Yeah, I think we have to look a little bit into the future, because most of the time you're going to say a professional hitter's a veteran, a guy who's been around.
That was a line drive that was smoked off the bat of Gerardo Parra into the corner. Stan will pick it out. Racing around third and on his way home is Xavier Nady. And Gerardo Parra with an RBI triple. And the parade continues for the Diamondbacks.
I would first say that it wouldn't be Gerardo Parra because his name's too hard to say for a professional hitter. But I would say, as far as Marlins, down the road, you could look at Gabby Sanchez and Logan Morrison as professional hitters.
I think down the road you would say Mike Stanton will be a beast and a masher.
Yeah. He'll be a scary hitter.
Well, this guy's got to feel pretty good about his chances to pick up a win now. Ian Kennedy came in at 6-2, and he really helped himself out by drawing the walk in the fourth. He laid off some breaking balls from Javi Vasquez. That kept the inning going, and that's when the Diamondbacks blew the doors off. 6 runs in that fourth. They've chipped in with 2 here in the fifth.
Haven't seen too many rough outings for Brian Sanchez, who ever since he's become a Marlin has had tremendous outings. But for him to have success, that pitch that he's bounced a couple of times, that forkball, he has to have good command of, which normally we see.
Yeah, that's the bread and butter for him. You saw it with the first batter he faced. When he's got command of the forkball, he can throw a fastball that'll freeze a hitter like it did to Stephen Drew. But no one's been frozen here in the fifth. Kennedy pops it up with the infield in. Infante has to wander back out. and make the catch. Here comes Ryan Roberts. A strike to Roberts, who was driven into a homer in the first to open the game, and a bases loaded walk in the fourth.
This is when you have to be careful to watch what you wish for. Everybody was wishing for not so many one-run games.
I'm just impressed that neither of us have used the adjective ludicrous.
It's been on the tip of our tongue, though. And at this pace, ludicrous will get a late start.
I think right now he's rapping on flat ground.
Stretching.
It's starting to work. That was a real good one. And Sanchez strikes out Roberts. 9-2 Arizona. Of the fish. Time now for a look forward at the Marlins schedule. And you've got the Diamondbacks for 2 more ball games tomorrow afternoon and Monday night. Just as we look forward to the upcoming schedule, you can live forward with Just for Man hair color. Here's Chris Coughlin. He fouls one off. Now my partner Tommy Hutton is in the spirit. Tommy in the booth on the cell phone is buying a raffle ticket for the Ford Fiesta right now. Nady flipped to first, and Kennedy beats Coughlin to the bag. So how did it go? Did you get the raffle ticket?
It was a piece of cake. I called 305-623-6497.
Yep.
Gave my credit card information.
Show the credit card.
Well, I have to cover the number. Here. I gave the information, and just like that, I have a raffle ticket.
Very nice.
So I'm in the race with you.
Yeah. Well, we're hopeful. We have a we have a 14-year-old that's getting closer to driving age, so a Ford Fiesta would be the perfect thing. There it is, 305-623-6497. There will be only 300 of these tickets sold. So it's a 1 in 300 chance. John Solser, I believe, our producer, has also chipped in. Omar Infante is up right now. Logan Morrison will follow against Ian Kennedy, who's just trying to ride out the wave and pick up the W. Drew off the ground, throws it over to first. And it's a 6-3 in the books.
Yeah, a couple of balls hit pretty well by Chris Coughlin and Omar Infante. These are at bats. You're down 7 runs. You have to grind them out. And they are at bats that a professional hitter grinds out.
Even the most professional hitter will tell you he wishes he had some of those at bats back. In fact, I think, was it you that told me the story? When you were doing Montreal radio, you interviewed Pete Rose.
Oh, yeah, Pete Rose said that. Here's the guy who had more hits than anybody. He said he wished he hadn't given so many away. So even he thought he gave some away. The other term that's used in baseball that also is an enduring term, but if you just look at it figuratively, this guy knows how to play the game.
Professional at bat right there, Tom.
And everybody would say, well, they're major leaguers. They should know how to play the game. But you have to look into that a little deeper.
Morrison 2 for 3 tonight. Here's Gabby. Marlins trying to climb out of a 7-run hole.
And so are we.
Yeah, when you're on a at the end of an 8-game losing streak like the Marlins were going into last night. Gabby, left field, and deep, and gone.
And let me just throw this in. There is still time. And the way the ball's been jumping, there's still time. There's one of those future professional hitters. Gabby Sanchez, double and home run tonight. This is a no-doubter on a hanging breaking ball. Wow.
So Gabby has 11 this year. Here's Mike Stanton. And he fouls it back.
I think another guy that we maybe could throw into the professional hitter category is on deck.
Stanton. Oh my goodness. My goodness. Way out of here.
Like I said, there's time. Big Mike. Oh.
That is about a 440-foot blast. So back-to-back homers. The Marlins get 3 runs back. They're down 9-5.
Another hanger. So 2 hanging breaking pitches from Ian Kennedy have been absolutely laced. One by Gabby Sanchez, and that one by Mike Stanton for Mike, number 16 on the year.
Here is Greg Dobbs. Dobbs pulls one to the right side, and the inning ends. But the Marlins hit 2 more home runs, pick up 3, and are down 9-5. can see the Diamondbacks are up 9-5. The Marlins have actually out-homered Arizona. Chris Coughlin, Gabby Sanchez, and Mike Stanton homering. And for the Diamondbacks, home runs from Stephen Drew and Ryan Roberts.
11 runs have been scored in the last 2 innings.
This guy may have the biggest hit of the ball game. A 3-run double back in the 4th.
Yeah, because remember, there was still an opportunity for Vasquez to get out of that inning, and he had struck out Kelly Johnson the previous 2 times.
So as you pointed out, there is still time.
There's time.
But the Marlins bullpen has to stop it right here, because you can't keep giving up runs when you're digging yourself out of a 7-run hole.
And Arizona has a very good back end of the bullpen. David Hernandez, J.J. Putz.
Forkball's working now, and Kelly Johnson strikes out.
There's that dive bomber.
Justin Upton now with Stephen Drew to follow. Upton an RBI double in the 4th. Marlins and Diamondbacks still have 2 more games after this one. This is a 4-game series.
Though the Marlins on this homestand have had a couple of wraparound series. By the way, this is a situation, and there's no guarantee, obviously, but if Brian Sanchez can have a nice quick 1-2-3 inning, all of a sudden you get your offense back up there. Who knows?
Strike.
I just got excited about my 1 in 300 chances.
I can see you in the Ford Fiesta. You get to pick the color.
Not sure if Bill Wadley could sit in the back seat of that thing, though.
The operators who are standing by will be exiting in the 7th inning. So 305-623-6497.
Get to Stephanie as quickly as possible.
We've got a few more of these nights before we'll get to 300. There's the number, 305-623-6497. We're only selling 300 of these tickets. And so once they're sold, they're gone. And you'll get 2 tickets to the game in which we draw the winner on September 21st. Of course, all the proceeds go to the Marlins Community Foundation. Will pop up right center field. And that's going to fall a base hit.
Well, he made a good pitch. Got in on Upton.
There's some news around baseball
what do you got, Rich?
Today, Tommy, that has a lot of people talking. And that, you know, Major League Baseball, the players' agreement, the working agreement, is being worked on right now by Major League Baseball and the Players Association. According to 4 different sources, Buster Olney is reporting, both sides are considering, instead of a 16-team National League and a 14-team American League, 2 leagues of 15 teams. Different from the current structure. It would wipe out division play, and 5 teams from
each league would make the playoffs.
Would make the postseason. You'd have like a lightning round between the 4 and the 5.
So basically the 5 teams with the best records.
Yes.
So no division play at all.
Right. Which would necessitate that you would have to balance out the schedule. It wouldn't be you're playing the Nationals 18 times, the Braves 18 times, means you would be playing everybody in your league an equal amount of time.
I'll give you two reactions. I'd have to look into it a little more, but my initial reaction is I like it.
Now, one team would have to move from the National League to the American League. The rumors are that team would be the Houston Astros, because then the Rangers and the Astros would have sort of a rivalry in that league. Plus, you would have an interleague series going every day of the schedule, because with 15 teams, obviously it's not an even number. So interleague play would stretch from the beginning to the end. Up the middle, that might be two. Infante to Bonifacio. There's the double play. Marlins get two and finish off the Diamondbacks in the 6th. Still a ways to go. The Marlins down 4.
Marlins Baseball está disponible en español vía Zap y es presentado por KFC.
Hey guys, Raul and Cookie join us now.
Tommy, how are you?
What's up, guys?
Good to see you guys. Things are looking a little bit better, and there's still time, isn't there, Cookie?
No question. I think 4 runs is nothing for this ball club. We're starting to feel a lot better at the plate. It seems like they swing in the bat very well. And so far, I would say this to you, Tommy and Rich. I think the whole game right now, it was determined on one pitch.
Yeah.
The pitch on curveball on a 3-2 count to Kennedy, the pitcher, the walk. You know.
We were all over the same point. Yep.
And we said that you have to challenge him with a fastball.
John Buck fouls it back. Yeah, that was and Tommy said it. Sometimes an inning gets away from a pitcher, and it's one at bat or one pitch that is the tipping point, and that was it.
Well, I think that he lost the concentration after that, and then he walked again to Roberts, and then Kelly hit a triple, and that was the whole ball game so far. But I believe that we still can come back because the guys are swinging the bat very well. This is a very resilient ball club, and always in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, boy, we come back a lot of times.
And the tough part, it really appeared in the early innings, the first 3 innings, that Javier Vazquez had good stuff.
He sure did. He struck out 6 in the first 3 innings.
We also saw his velocity a little up today. It's something we hadn't seen in a while.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's right.
Hey, I want your guys' impression, because I said this to Tommy earlier. I can't remember 2 nights where the ball has jumped out of here like it has these last 2 nights.
Well, we're playing with baseball or golf balls? Because they're flying out of here, no question about that. I agree.
John Buck, a broken bat that squirts over to first. All right, guys, have a good show tonight.
You too, guys.
You too, guys. Del 1 al 3.
Ian Kennedy running down that John Buck dribbler. And here's Emilio Bonifacio. The pitcher spot is due up next. Scott Cousins is on deck. Marlins down 9-5. It was 9-2 going into the 5th inning. Gabby Sanchez hit his 11th, and Mike Stanton his 16th. Gabby's a 2-run shot. Kennedy bounces one up there. And as Tommy pointed out, the back end of the Diamondbacks bullpen is pretty good with David Hernandez and J.J. Putz.
You know, the last time the Marlins allowed this many runs was the game in Arizona, first game when they scored 15.
Kennedy runs that one away from Bonifacio. After Cousins, you've got Chris Coghlan. Coghlan is homered tonight. Striking, it's 2-1. 25,321 here. We saw Ludacris pull down the number. Just 43 games left in the regular season in this park. That one fouled out of play.
So a tough part in the batting order for Ludacris. He had to follow you. But you were no doubt on base.
Yeah, Ludacris gets the number 44, and the number 45 will be hanging in my garage here pretty soon. Didn't have time to hang it up. I got home last night.
That's a busy schedule. You might not have time for a week or so.
See, I needed the Ludacris sunglasses. I mean, if I was going to get it done like he did, look at that. And then the smile,
yeah,
and the bling. I needed all those things.
Yeah, you didn't quite have the same pose.
No,
either.
No, he's had the chest sticking out. I just gave that thumbs up. Just happy to be here.
Happy to be here. Happy to get another game closer.
Yeah. Did not have the that rock star aura that Ludacris has. Should be a good show after this ball game. 3-2. Foul back out of play. Ian Kennedy working to Emilio Bonifacio with one out in the bottom of the 6th. And Bonifacio just won't go away. He has doubled and walked. In fact, Bonifacio in the last 2 nights is 3 for 5 with 3 doubles. And just when you thought Bonifacio had worn out and was starting to fade, all of a sudden he has sprung back to life.
He gets those little spurts going.
And he strikes out on that fastball. So there are 2 outs. And Cousins is coming up. So what do you think? From first glance,
First glance, I like it, yes.
Now the source says the odds of it happening are a little less than 50-50. But I think it's worth discussing.
I don't know how it will affect travel. I'm sure if you're in an area, and I'm sure Red Sox and Yankee fans aren't going to like the fact that those 2 teams match up 18 games, 18 times during the year.
Towards the line, and Parra makes the catch. Scott Cousins jumping on the first pitch he saw. Marlins kept off the board in the 6th. It's 9-5.
For the 7th, Arizona leading by 4 runs. Thought we'd check in since we talked to Single A and Hanley earlier with the AAA New Orleans Zephyrs, who are trailing their game tonight 6-2 to Memphis. They go to the 8th inning. But here's some of the top hitters. Brian Peterson, who has been up and down a little bit over the last few years, having a great season at AAA. Look at Chris Aguila, former Marlin, hitting .290. And Matt Dominguez tonight had on a 1 for 3. He's got 20 RBIs and 71 at bats, and he's now hitting .260 for the Zephyrs. One other story that went under the radar this week: the Marlins signed Jose Lopez, who was under a $3.6 million contract to Colorado this year. The Rockies released him earlier in the year and are on the hook for the salary. Lopez is a former All-Star. He hit 25 homers with Seattle in 2009. He's a third baseman, second baseman, not noted for his defense. He started with the Zephyrs the other night. In his first game, he had a homer in a 2-0 win for the Zephyrs. It broke up the scoreless tie. There's a look at Lopez, and then he had a couple more hits. He's 3 for 6 so far. It would be interesting, to just talking out loud, when Hanley comes back, if the Marlins decide to add another player, because they'll have Bonifacio to back up shortstop. You wonder if Lopez, maybe a little too early, would be on that radar. But we'll see. But he's playing. We want to let you know about it, and he's off to a good start at AAA.
Hey, Craig, he's an intriguing guy as Edward Mujica is into his first inning in relief, and he throws a strike to Miguel Montero.
Yeah, and an experienced guy.
Yeah, and you know, in Seattle, they thought that Lopez and Yuniesky Betancourt would be their double play combination for a long time, and it just didn't work out. But Lopez, when he's hitting, is a really good player, but for some reason, it was not working out in Colorado. That one fouled at the plate, and it's 1-2. How about Chris Aguila? Still hanging in there and putting up good numbers.
Yeah, guys that you know, that we've seen other organizations. Just about every organization has guys like that have had bits and pieces with the big league club, and then they go down to AAA and tear it up.
The 1-2. That one fouled back. We had a chance to talk to a scout the other day about Matt Dominguez, and he said that he was pleasantly surprised by what he saw offensively.
Surprised a little bit at the power.
Yes.
And as every scout has told us, could play defensively right now in the big leagues.
And play well.
Yes. You know, we have all kinds of fans check in, crack staffers all over the country. And we were talking about that possible new alignment with 15 teams in each league. And I made the comment about, you know, maybe Yankee and Red Sox fans wouldn't like that. But an arrogant Red Sox crack staffer checked in and said, not the case, because they know sometimes they could finish second and not get the wild card. But if they finish in the top 5, which they feel they're going to, they'll get in the playoffs every year.
Well, and I think with a 15-team league, they probably won't be playing each other 18 times. I think you would have to, just for the integrity of those first 5 postseason bids, you would have to have an equal schedule for the 15 teams in that league. I mean, it wouldn't be weighted towards the Marlins playing the Mets 18 times and playing the Diamondbacks 7 times. If the Diamondbacks and the Marlins are fighting for one of those 5 postseason spots, they should play the exact same schedule.
Well, the Red Sox last year were 89-73. That was 3rd in the American League East, but 5th in the American League. So they would have made the playoffs. Sometimes the arrogant crack staffer Red Sox fan is not so arrogant, but
that rolls off your tongue so easily. Just like that breaking ball from Mujica. Fiesta. Remember, we're only selling 300 of these raffle tickets. It's a brand new car. You get to pick the color. $100. There's the number, 305-623-6497. 305-623-6497. The operators are only going through the 7th inning. And you get a Marlins Ford shirt, an oil change coupon. Even Tiny is in the phone room.
Tiny's taking calls.
And you get 2 tickets to the September 21st game against the Atlanta Braves. That's the night where they will draw the winner. And you have actually a 1 in 298 chance to win because Tommy and I each have a raffle ticket. We each bought a raffle ticket. So we're in on it. And hopefully on the 21st, one of us will be scooting out in that Ford Fiesta. Ian Kennedy is, for a guy that's given up 3 homers and 5 runs, cruising comfortably here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Yeah, he is. He's actually managed his pitch count very well. His pitch count's at 91 now. You know, he had the 3-run inning in the 5th, but everything happened so fast, he didn't use up a lot of pitches. And he's had a lot of quick outs.
Yeah, ground ball short. Drew throws out Omar Infante. And Logan Morrison's coming up now.
He's only thrown 3 pitches this inning.
Morrison, RBI triple, singled and scored, and has struck out.
We've been looking, Rich, at other games. I was looking at that Atlanta-Houston game. It's 2-2 in the 9th inning. But Hunter Pence has a base hit and has extended his hitting streak to 22 games now.
2-2, bottom 9 in Houston. And Houston has a runner at second base with 1 out in that bottom of the 9th. Here it's 9-5. This one got away from Javi Vasquez when the Diamondbacks chased him with 6 runs in the 4th. They added 2 more in the 5th off Brian Sanchez, and it was a laugher at that point, 9-2. But the Marlins hit 2 homers in the 5th and brought it within 4. And then Morrison fouls it back.
Yeah, the Marlins have homered 3 times tonight.
See, I had forgotten that if you were calling for a raffle ticket tonight at 305-623-6497, that Tiny was working the phone room tonight.
See, when I called, I didn't get Tiny. I guess Stephanie.
Stephanie.
Yeah. But Tiny and I are tight. We go over dance moves a lot.
Here's a 2-2, and it's outside.
The pitch that Kennedy got hurt on the most in that 5th inning, the 2 home runs were each hit on real slow hanging breaking balls that didn't do much, and he paid the price.
Morrison pulls it just fair, and he's just out. Good hustle down the line. A 1-2-3 7th. On to the 8th, 9-5 Arizona. Marlins, 8th inning, and Edward Mujica will try to keep it at 4 runs on a night where the ball's been jumping. But the Diamondbacks, 9 runs on 10 hits. The Marlins, 5 runs, 8 hits. Gerardo Parra leading off here in the 8th. Parra, RBI triple in the 5th inning. He is lined out and was intentionally walked. Parra, the speedy left fielder. He's only 24. He's out of Venezuela. He's a good-looking young player. This is his 3rd year in the big leagues. Coming up, he has reminded some scouts and executives of a young Bobby Abreu. Maybe not as big, but he still has the speed and the defensive ability in the outfield.
It's amazing to think Bobby Abreu is still hanging in there. We'll see him. We'll see him right here when the Marlins hook up with the Los Angeles Angels. All those years we saw him with the Phillies.
Some scouts have said that Abreu reminds them of a old Gerardo Parra. Stanton over for it, and it lands in front of him.
Well, Parra can only hope he has the same kind of career Bobby Abreu's had.
Oh, yeah. All right, AJ Speaks, our producer for the night. John Solser has the night off, but AJ Speaks, who works for the Miami Heat and will be working tomorrow night.
Oh, he's a busy guy.
Yeah, he has jumped into the pool with us. He has picked up one of the 300 raffle tickets for the Ford Fiesta. Mojica's fastball is up and in, and it almost hits Kennedy. Parra didn't budge from first base.
You know, he started to, but then I don't think he picked up the ball. I don't think he saw where it went. I mean, it's easy from our angle. There's the ball into the mitt and out of the mitt. But with Kennedy diving and Buck chasing after the ball, I think Parra lost sight of the ball.
Kennedy and Mojica flips it on over to first. Yeah, Ian Kennedy at 98 pitches at the plate here in the 8th in a 9-5 game. He's given up 3 homers. Runner goes, bunt and run. Mojica picks it up and flips on over to first. Kirk Gibson has been aggressive with this group, and it has paid off for him tonight. Here's Ryan Roberts, who has struck out twice, but he's also homered and walked with the bases loaded. So if you've got one National League team that has to join the American League, Houston is rumored to be one of those teams.
Then that's all.
That's
right?
it.
That's it. You don't have to. It's not changing a whole bunch of teams.
And that's just a rumor. It could be another team. Might ease the travel in the American League a little bit. There's only 4 teams
in the West.
And the Rangers aren't really in the West. I mean, they're in the Central. To right, Stanton is there and makes the catch. Remember, the Milwaukee Brewers moved. They went from the American League to the National League back in, I want to say, 98 or thereabouts.
Was it, if it was the first year interleague, it was 97.
Okay.
But I don't know if they moved the first year of interleague.
We'll ask the Brewers when we get to September.
I'm in with you. It's thereabouts.
Mojica, this is down low. That's why we have a cracked staff, isn't it?
They could send the Brewers back to the American League.
They would need a flux capacitor to do that, Tommy. Here's the 1-0. fouled out of play. And it's 1-1.
Even Back to the Future 3 was pretty good.
One. I know that whichever episode Leah Thompson was in, I was all in.
Mujica, good fastball by Mujica.
Strikes out Kelly Johnson. And although Kennedy has been touched up for 3 homers, is our SunTrust performer of the game because he's got a 4-run lead and he's still out there. And of course, he had a key walk in the 6-run 4th inning for the Diamondbacks.
Well, 98 pitches, and Rich, 71 of those have been strikes. That's why he's still out there.
Gabby Sanchez with a big swing, and it's a pop-up out into shallow left. Drew runs it down. Mike Stanton coming up. Gabby Sanchez and Mike Stanton went back-to-back with home runs in the 5th inning. Gabby a shot to left down the line, and then Stanton hit one almost to dead center off the kind of the black facing of the bleachers that are folded up behind the batting cage.
Yeah, kind of hit it out there toward the batting cage, just a little left of the cage.
HitTrackerOnline.com in the next couple of days should give you the distance on that one. I hope that when we get to the new ballpark that the Marlins give distances.
I think it's a great little feature. Do we argue about it and disagree sometimes? Heck yeah. But it's fun to say, boy, that ball was hit 440 or 450.
Well, players want to know too.
And if you figured out Mike's, it's 434 where it went over, so it got to be 440 or 450.
And isn't that part of the history of a ballpark?
They still talk about the ball Mickey Mantle hit in, I believe it was against the. It hit on the top of the roof, and estimated 500 feet. It was walked off and measured by
Roger Craig.
No, it was measured by last name Patterson. He later went on to be with the Dodgers. He was like their PR director, and he measured it.
Swing and a miss. Stanton strikes out. Ian Kennedy is going strong here. He's completed 1 game this year. Greg Dobbs is coming up. They do have, the Diamondbacks do have someone in the bullpen, and Kennedy is at 105 pitches.
And I would think today hit tracker would be a little more accurate than measuring it, just walking it off. You just read Patterson.
Kennedy misses away.
My thoughts are like in 6-second delay.
$19.98. There's Aaron Heilman just reading up on the Milwaukee Brewers. Foul back to the screen. Yeah, 1998 is when the Brewers, that's when the Diamondbacks and the Rays were awarded franchises that came into Major League Baseball. It was decided to add 1 new team to each league, and you couldn't have an odd number of teams per league, so Major League Baseball decided to move 1 team. Apparently, as this story goes, the Kansas City Royals of the American League were asked first, but they decided not to move to the National League Central. The choice then fell to the Brewers, who elected to move to the National League's Central Division. At the same time, the Tigers agreed to move from the East to the Central.
That's right. One time, Detroit in the East. Oh, there were some crazy alignments. The Braves were in the West.
That's right.
At one time.
The Reds were in the West.
At Cincinnati. That's right. In Cincinnati and the Dodgers used to battle it out in the West.
So if this realignment plan goes through, then everybody's in the same boat in each league.
Kind of like it.
3-2. Swing and a miss, and Ian Kennedy, even though he's given up the 3 homers, finishing strong here in the 8th. in on dinner. Some long dogs. Edward Mujica for the Marlins in the 9th inning. Upton fouls one off the mask of John Buck. Upton has a couple of hits.
I tell you what, Mujica has been just what the doctor ordered. You get into a game like this, and after turning it over to Brian Sanchez, Brian gave up a couple of runs, but he was able to hang in there for a couple of innings, 2 1/3, and this the 3rd inning for Mujica. Now the only problem when you do this, you probably won't be able to use him for a couple of days. So get him ready, use him tonight, get him ready for Philadelphia.
It's the 2nd consecutive short start by Javier Vasquez. He lasted 4 innings against Milwaukee and just 3 2/3 here against the Diamondbacks. And remember, tomorrow the Marlins have a rookie going. Brad Hand makes just his 2nd big league start. Ricky Nolasco slated to go on Monday night. So tomorrow afternoon it's Brad Hand against Daniel Hudson, a right-hander. Bonifacio has to set himself and make the throw. Good pick by Gabby Sanchez. Upton really busts it down the line. And a couple times tonight on ground balls, he's come close to beating it out.
They got a couple of guys. They got a number of guys between Roberts gets up the line, Kelly Johnson, Upton, Drew, Young. They all get up the line quickly. And you know what? Because of Kirk Gibson, they all run up there hard, too. Nice pick by Gabby at the other end.
Here's Drew. His homer came in the 4th. Both home runs by the Diamondbacks have been solo shots. Wow, Atlanta has put 3 on the board in the top of the 10th inning. And has a 5-2 lead over Houston. Eric Hinsky and Brian McCann have home runs. So the Braves look like they're on their way to winning their 5th consecutive game, while the Marlins here tonight are in danger of slipping to a 1 game over 500. Nationals are winning in San Diego right now. Anthony Rizzo is homered. It's his first home run, and he's a local guy.
A lot of young players getting opportunities, just getting called up. Mike Moustakas with the Kansas City Royals, youngster who the Royals picked in the 1st round and went to the same high school as Matt Dominguez.
Yeah, they were teammates.
Yeah.
And they both went in the 1st round. Moustakas went before Dominguez did.
It's pretty incredible when you have high school teammates both go in the 1st round. So with Hosmer, Moustakas, Alex Gordon, who's been there a couple of years, the Kansas City Royals trying to formulate a core of young players.
Anthony Rizzo, just 21 out of Fort Lauderdale.
It's been a great run for kids in this area. Not in the same class as youngsters. He's been around a little bit, but another guy that again has been incredibly hot. Mike Morse hit a home run last night, and he hit it against Matt Latos.
Yeah, out of Coconut Creek. Morse out of Nova High School. Douglas High School.
For Rizzo?
Yep.
Tell you what, Edward Mujica has good stuff tonight. A sharp slider. His fastball's been live. Sometimes he comes in and uses the split a little bit too much, but he has good stuff.
Young gets one in the backside. Kind of looks out at Mujica.
You and I talked about it in Arizona. I have no idea if that was intentional or not. But there was a point in time where the Diamondbacks were swinging out of their shoes in that 15-4 game. They've hit the ball well tonight. 9 runs, 11 hits. I'm just throwing it out there. Who knows?
If it was intentional, it was professional.
Yeah. If you're going to throw at somebody and send a message, don't throw at their head. Get them in the backside. Let them take their base.
And there's one of those back-footed swings you were talking about.
Yeah.
Montero.
It's also another good fastball by Mujica.
One ball, one strike. Another big swing and a miss. Montero homered last night against Anibal Sanchez.
Hey, there's 2 things Mujica can do here. He could corkscrew Montero into the ground if he throws a good forkball. Or he could just say, let me throw that fastball again because I have a good one tonight. Fastball.
94.
Got it up to 94.
One-two coming. Breaking ball misses inside. Young steals second. Mujica in his 3rd inning of relief. He's given up just 1 hit. He has struck out 3. He hasn't walked anybody yet. Again, he pounds him inside with a fastball. It's 2-2.
And he's been throwing a lot of pitches, 42 pitches for Mujica.
So as we pointed out, it's a rookie who's on the mound tomorrow in Brad Hand. The Marlins have used a couple of relievers tonight. Ground ball to short. Bonifacio fires the first in time. And Mujica goes 3 scoreless. Brought to you by Marooney. When you need a car, truck, or van, who are you going to call? 1-877-MAROONEY. By Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. By Chase. With Chase Quick Deposit on your smartphone, you can deposit checks safely and securely from anywhere. Take a step forward and chase what matters. And by FPL. FPL is constantly working to make its system stronger, smarter, cleaner, and even more efficient to offer reliable service today for years to come. Visit FPL.com to learn more. Aaron Heilman comes out of the bullpen, and Heilman has been charged with the bottom of the ninth to try to finish things for the Diamondbacks. You can see his numbers this year not so good. His ERA in the mid-8s.
And amazing, a 4-0 record. I'll tell you what, you have to give Ian Kennedy a lot of credit tonight. He had that bad inning in the 5th inning when he gave up the back-to-back home runs. He retired 10 in a row after the home run that was hit by Mike Stanton.
That's why we gave him our SunTrust Performer of the Game.
Through 113 pitches, and 80 of those pitches were strikes.
Buck swings at a pitch in the dirt, and Heilman's out front 1-2. Now walking 9 strikeouts. Tough night for Javier Vasquez. He gives up 7 runs. Brian Sanchez charged with the other 2. Mujica goes 3 scoreless innings. And you would think that Sanchez and Mujica are probably off limits tomorrow. Heilman, who had success against the Marlins when he was a Met, he always seemed to give the fish fits.
Well, throwing that changeup, occasional fastball and slider. Been a rough night for the 6, 7, and 8 spots in the order. The only hit out of the 6, 7, and 8 hitters was Bonifacio's double in the 2nd inning.
Bonifacio's been on base 2 of his 3 ABs with that double and a walk. Heilman misses down low. You got the top of the order hoping to come up. Wes Helms in the 9 spot is on deck. So Bonifacio or Helms has to get on base for Coughlin to get an AB here in the 9th. And I'm not sure that Kirk Gibson will have a real long leash here with Aaron Heilman. If he struggles, he may not be out there long. There's a strike.
Well, it gets to that point. If he sees a situation, a runner or 2 on base, the tying run gets to the on deck circle, then it becomes a save situation. He might go to his closer. Very frustrating, I'm sure, for Josh Johnson.
Two line into left field. Bonifacio is aboard. Couple hits for Emilio.
And he saw that trio. Chris Volstad threw well in his last outing. Ricky Nolasco, David Hernandez, and of course Anibal Sanchez.
So Helms gets the pinch hit appearance. Scott Cousins has already appeared. He flied out back in the 6th. Helms was hitless in his start last night, and he takes a strike. Ball and a strike. Heilman out of Notre Dame.
You know, the alarming number, obviously a lot of the losses here at home, but the alarming number, the Marlins will go to 15-20 at home.
Ground ball, base hit, left field. That'd be nice to bring the big bats up one more time before the night is done. Helms a pinch hit. Now comes Coughlin. Then you've got Infante and Morrison, and you see Kirk Gibson with Charles Nagy right next to him. You've got Alan Trammell there too.
You know, for Wes Helms now, he's 6 for 20 off the bench as a pinch hit.
One out. Marlins down 4 in the 9th.
Beware the changeup.
Popped up. Shallow left. Drew out. Parra in. And Coughlin is the second out. And if the big bats are going to come up, Omar Infante needs to get on base.
It was not a changeup. It was a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Looked like a pretty good pitch to hit right there. Pretty good pitch to hit. A lot of the plate.
Infante takes a strike. Omar has a hit. Singled in the 3rd. 3 hits in the series. Heilman misses away. Remember Aaron Heilman at one time a starting pitcher for the Mets. He threw a 1-hitter against the Marlins. It was back in that 06, 07, 08 area that he really was tough on the fish. He was a Cub in 2009. This is his 2nd year with Arizona.
Well, I'll tell you what, if somehow Omar Infante reaches base, Heilman will not be pitching to Logan Morrison.
Fastball, the count's even now. The Marlins are down to their last strike in the bottom of the 9th. In a ball game that got away from the fish quickly in the 4th inning. A 4th inning that Javier Vasquez could not get through. Heilman steps off. Infante steps out. Morrison on deck. Marlins trying to get him to the plate. That's out. And the count full now, 3-2.
Pitching coach Charles Nagy getting a little nervous.
Coming. Runners on the move. Popped him up, and this should do it. On the infield, Kelly Johnson makes the catch, and the Diamondbacks even this series at a game apiece. Aaron Heilman finishes the ball game for Ian Kennedy, who gets the win. He is now 7-2, and the Marlins are a game over 500 at 32-31. Marlins Live is coming up.